Hi, this is Rick Aguilar with Construction Technology Network, or CTN, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the role of the architect in controlling construction costs, and then I'd like to just spend a minute or two talking to you about CTN and what we do in the cost estimating world. Just in case you need a cost estimating company, I would assume you want to know something about the company. So, yeah, I want to tell you a story about a project we had a few years ago. And this owner had a substantial budget to build a pretty sizable project. So he went out and he hired an architect. And just let me give you a backstory here. The owner hired a CM firm who gave him a preliminary drawing and said, you could build this project for X amount of dollars, which was his budget, the owner's budget. So the owner gave the project um, manager, I guess, gave the architect the preliminary drawings. And then the architect did some work on them and he gave them to us to do a cost estimate. So we went ahead and worked on the cost estimate, and we didn't know what the budget was. We just estimated the work. Then when we got done, we found out that it was over budget by double what the owner's budget was. So what happened was that the owner said, hey, you need to get another estimating firm and have them check your estimating firm's numbers. So they did. They hired another estimating firm, and about a month and a half later, we had a meeting, and the estimating firm looking at our numbers didn't see any substantial problems with our work. So what happened? Project redesign. So I tell you this story because this architect was really happy that they weren't doing the cost estimating themselves, that they hired somebody like us that could come in and do a really good job up front. And even though the cost estimate was challenged, and even though it was a very awkward situation having the project redesigned, still the architect was happy that he didn't try to do the cost estimating himself. So the role of the architect in controlling construction costs really starts out with the he needs to design a project that's within the construction budget. And I'm glad I'm not in their shoes because I wouldn't know how to do that from an architect's point of view. So what happens is that they sometimes want to do their own budgets or they want to do their own estimates. So historically, architects have not prepared detailed cost estimates. And when I mean detail, I mean getting down to crews and productivity, doing rate tables for jurisdictions, those kind of things. They basically would use square footage costs. And those square footage costs are um, it's hard to pin down what's in a unit cost price. Where did it come from? What is it? What's in it? So they are not really prepared to do detailed cost estimates. The fact about architects doing the estimating is that the owner isn't getting an unbiased cost estimate. Now, unbiased basically is that the owner would prefer that the numbers aren't misleading, or that there is truth in the numbers and that the numbers don't lie. Now, I'm not saying that architects are misleading and they don't have integrity and they lie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the owner would prefer that there was an estimate that they could drill into to see where the numbers came from. That's what I'm saying. Now, why wouldn't the architect want to, why would the architect want to estimate his own work for the owner? Put it that way. I think they want to control the narrative. And, it's human nature. So if you're designing a project and you're doing the cost estimating and you think it's going to go over budget um, with your cost estimate, it'd be easy to tell the owner, we're within your budget, and then try to do something with the next design phase, to get it back into budget. See? So there's a lot of things that you could talk about with that situation, but I don't want to go there. So anyway, under a cost consultant, the design now takes on much more proactive roles. It assures that the architect's cost estimate matches the owner's budget through the completion of the phases, construction design phases. So it's our job as a cost consultant to help the architect if the project goes over budget, to help them get it back into budget by doing engineering studies, value engineering or VE studies. So, we're not here to make the architect look bad. We're here to be a sounding board, I guess, so that the owner could look at the estimate and his budget and what he's getting from the architect and feel good about what's going on in the process. The architect can make appropriate recommendations to the owner to adjust the project to get back into budget. And like I said, that's what we do. You can make a screenshot of this, and if you have any things you want to add or discuss, I'm an open book. So just ask away. One of the things that we do that's actually, I think, more important than just doing the nitty-gritty of cost estimating is providing information. And this information between cost or design phases, we produce what's called a variance report. And the variance report tells you everything that has changed between the phases. So let's say there's a preliminary design phase and 50% CDs. It will tell you what changed in the way of quantity, labor, material, equipment, and so on. And then at the very end of the report, it gives you a grand total of, yeah, you're under budget by this amount of money, or you're over budget. So we can go back and look at the line items that are over and see what happened, why it generated, or why we went over budget. So we've been in business a long time, and we've done a lot of cost estimating for architectural firms, and we've done a lot of cost estimating for general contractors. I remember general contractors a few years ago calling me up and going, hey, we got $80 million worth of cost estimating that we need to get out of this office. Can you come and help us? Sure. So we sent 2 estimators over there to help out. So, we help out general contractors, we help architects, and we help owners. So there's a lot of different things that we do. Some of the things that we do, I think, are very interesting in the view of cost estimating. And one of them is, if you have a proposed change order, we got to do what's called a cost comparison analysis report between what the subcontractor's costs are, or the general contractor, and then on the other side, we bid into those line items so we can get a delta or a change of cost on the other side. So those are just kind of fun things that we like to do. A lot of services that we do. We do cost estimating mainly for architects, a lot of CPM scheduling and cost management work, or construction management work. Some of our projects, this is a small list of looks like a lot of schools that we've done. This is a school that we completed in Yuba City, California. You can see the different phases of design that we put estimates to. This is a project that we completed with the Corps of Engineers, and we did some cost estimating up front on this project, and we did the schedule review of the prime contractor's schedule throughout the construction. This is a project, like I said, we worked for general contractors. This general contractor asked us if we would bid this project, and we helped them out bidding it, and we landed the project. Then they asked us if we would do the schedule, and we did the schedule, and then they asked us if we would do the project management, and we did that also. This was a fairly huge project in Sacramento. It's called Capital East End, and this was a very huge project. A lot of work on it. We did a project with Fluor, who had a contract with FEMA, and this was a 5-year contract to do cost estimating anywhere in the United States or its territories when there were disasters. So we did quite a bit of cost estimating on disaster work. We've done a lot of work on correctional facilities and prisons. And the biggest one we worked on was Delano 2. We spent about 2.5 years working at that prison while it was being built. We had 9 general contractors working on the project. We had over 450 proposed change orders, and many of those proposed change orders turned into change orders. This is a River Valley High School, and again, you can see the different cost estimates we did. This is Rogue Valley Airport in Medford, Oregon. This is a new terminal that was built. We did all the cost estimates for this project, and this was about a little over a year of design work, I believe. Nice project. This is a report, and I just wanted to show you this because this is a report based on division, phase, and detail. And so what we ended up doing is just printing this out by phase total. But we could take one of those line items, let's say like site work, and you got $4.8 million for site work. We could drill down into that amount, and we could see what makes up the labor, what makes up the material, what makes up the equipment, and so on. So if you want to, you can make a screenshot of this contact information. And we do a lot of work for general contractors. And not only do we do schools and that type of thing, but we also estimate for home builders. We're doing estimating for a home builder now that does kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, maybe a small addition to the back. And what he'll do is he'll send us a sketch on a piece of paper and some dimensions and a lot of pictures that we could look at. And we'll do a go-to meeting and sit down with him and crank out a cost estimate. So, if you have a $500 job or a $500 million job, estimating's the same to us. So give us a call, and you have a great day, and talk to you soon. Thanks.